connection,
an opportunity.
all in one place. Come join the community. So text it now, don't wait in line. Line for line. 949298290. That's 69
I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is, there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Scott, we turn it over to Nick and David Meltzer.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And I always wondered why that block cheese was so orange, but it certainly tastes good as well. Straight out of Akron, Ohio. Blessed to be born in the same hospital as LeBron James and Steph Curry. So I thought I'd be the commissioner of basketball someday. I certainly knew I wasn't going to play. But more importantly, we're here for over 28 years, and it's only been amplified and enhanced by Scott Simons and TM and the rest of the Breakfast of Champions crew. We are blessed to have such a great community, and thank you guys for allowing us to participate on this platform with y'all. It's a amazing excitement on Fridays. You know, most people are excited about Mondays. I get excited about Friday mornings, and not because somehow it's the end of the week, but because of the Breakfast of Champions. It's changed my life and helped other people hopefully do the same. But I'm going to hand it over to, as you guys know, the superstar of them all, the 25-year-old, soon to be 26-year-old. Less time than I've been doing this training, by the way. But the incredible Nick of WOM, the well-oiled machine, Nick Glazer. Are you here, my friend?
Yes, sir. No place I'd rather be on a Friday. How we doing?
We're doing really well. Why don't you go ahead, set the room, let everybody know where we're going to be, and invite them, not obligate them to where we're going to be. And then we got a great Friday training plan for everyone.
Absolutely. And welcome, everybody. Happy Happy Friday, and welcome to another edition of David's Free Friday Trainings. As he mentioned, it has been over 28 years, and today is one of my favorite trainings because today's topic is takeaway of the month from the month of July and or ask me anything. So we are going to understand what people are listening for and what's resonating with them today as we look for you all to share either your takeaway of the month from July or, of course, an ask me anything and a question for David today. So for all of our friends here in the Breakfast with Champions, as we're getting started with this Power Hour, let's make sure that we are inviting, but not obligating, any of our friends, family, colleagues that would benefit from this conversation or would have a question for David or a takeaway to share. And for, of course, all of our friends on the webinar and the multicast as we are live on all platforms, go ahead and make sure to put your takeaways for the month of July or your questions for David into the chat, as we will be monitoring that heavily as we want to have a nice harmony between our friends in the Breakfast with Champions and, of course, our core community on the classic webinar. Now, of course, we want to invite but not obligate everybody as well, as we are on tour to over 200 cities every single year, going into those cities and adding on what we call a car wash, which is the addition of a community meetup, holding court, or even one of our VIP dinners for charity. We rocked the house yesterday in Newport Beach with the Act Like the Champion You Are mastermind, but come and join us next week as we are going to be in Viva Las Vegas for the production of 2 Minute Drills, season number 8, with the incredible Tim Story, Forrest Griffin, CJ Watson, and so many others, adding on a car wash while we are there in Las Vegas. Then it'll be an Aloha stop on the car wash tour in Honolulu, Hawaii, holding courts, community meetup, plus car wash there in Honolulu as well. Then we will be back in Newport Beach, California for one of our intimate VIP dinners for charity with Tim Story, plus car wash there in Newport Beach. Then we'll be back at SoFi Stadium, the greatest stadium in the world, for another edition of our Mastermind series, plus car wash there in Los Angeles. And then rounding things out here in the next 12-day sprint in Atlanta, Georgia, with the incredible Les Brown. We'll be with Dr. Stefanos Sinacropi and so many others for a VIP dinner experience plus car wash. Now, ladies and gents, I know it is way too much to keep up with, especially in the next 10 to 12 days. So if you would like the reminders on where we're going to be and to continue to get these invitations, but not obligations, over 200 every single year, all you need to do is text us at area code 949. Next 3 digits are 298. Last 4 digits are 2905. Of course, for all of our friends here on Clubhouse, I will be sure to put that in the room chat. And for all of our friends on the webinar, not only can you see it on screen or in the chat, but we will remind you at the end of today's show, of course, with our incredible jingle that we love to remind you all on where you can get these invitations, but not obligations. Now, as we get started with today's training, takeaway from the month of July and or ask me anything, Mr. Meltzer, I turn it back over to you to bless us with your takeaway from the month of July.
There's always so many takeaways, but I think it's important to make sure you just don't get intellectually entertained by things, that you actually look for a capture, a takeaway, things that resonate with you. And for me, in this season of my life, what resonates most with me is God will not give you an invitation without already knowing your limitations. And I think helping so many people and seeing their calling and then watching them limit their self-image, their identity, and their effort because of what they perceive to be their limitations. And they have thoughts about limitations, perceptions about limitations, but unfortunately those lead to the meaning that they're limited, and that leads to limited intentions. They start limiting what they do, say, think, feel, and believe, and that leads to limited behavior. And believe it or not, those behaviors are what are completely indicative of the results that you desire, or even better. And so, that really resonates with me. For every time I'm called, I feel strongly about something, and start putting judgments and conditions. I have to remind myself, people will call on you. They'll call on you for who you've been, but God will call on you for who you become. And that takeaway resonates with me in July, especially. How about you, Nick? What's a takeaway for you for the month of July?
Absolutely. The takeaway for me was something that, in regard to what is, as we took the car wash tour across the pond over to London, there was a quote on one of the statues that really resonated with me. And that quote was, "Freedom is the sure possession of those alone who have the courage to defend it." And when we talk about freedom, of course, a little bit different here in the US in comparison to across the pond. But nonetheless, it was a little bit of a different perspective and really resonated with me in the sense that I'm still continuing to unpack it, but something that I continue to have come through me and I keep referencing to. So it's making me feel, which is something that I take great awareness to, whether it's feeling positive towards or feeling negative towards, and something that I need to continue to learn even more about. But that was something that really resonated with me from one of our most recent trips, and especially in alignment with what is freedom, which is something we all are grateful for, especially living here in America, let alone it's something we strive for in terms of the freedom to do what we want, where we want, when we want, with who we want, for as long as we want. This was something that definitely resonated with me here in the month of July.
Beautiful, and a great definition of freedom. And we pray that those people that dream of doing what they want, when they want, with who they want, for as long as they want, absolutely build a life with all the different types of wealth to do so: social wealth, health wealth, of course, financial wealth. It takes all the above in order to effectuate that type of freedom. But I'm going to put you in control as usual. So why don't you bring up our first takeaway of the month or question that someone may have of me?
Absolutely. We are going to get started here with Allie, who is first up on stage, ready to rock and roll. So Allie, the mic is yours, my dear. And just as an FYI, I have Marco Antonio. You are on deck, my friend. So, but without further ado, Allie, the mic is yours.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Great takeaways, both Nick and David.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
love to hear that. My takeaway, and again, this is very personal to where I'm at in my journey, is just, the subtle reminder of how important the non-negotiable behavior and the daily practices really are. When you really slow yourself down, how devotional you have to be every day pouring into each bucket. And it takes time to learn and consistency to truly understand them and create the change. So very thankful and appreciative to have you as a mentor, helping me understand that, learn that, and be guided. But for you, David, also have a question is What has really helped you go from simply doing your non-negotiables every day to truly becoming devotional to them?
Yeah, I think the key differentiator in doing so is when I started to make sure that I was aligning that meaning, the meaning of the past, the failures, the mistakes, the setbacks, the defining moments, historical relevances, my successes, until I started to align those meanings that I gave those things in my past. It was difficult not to interfere with devotion and be stuck just in discipline. You see, so many people are so disciplined working, they forget to make money. They're so disciplined working, they don't take care of their health. They're so disciplined working, they don't spend time with their friends and family. When you are aligning the meaning of the past with your divine direction, you're freeing yourself with that meaning. And as long as you're aligning the meaning, knowing that you have the power to give meaning to everything you see. I had the power, it just took a little bit of time, to give a different meaning to losing over $100 million and going bankrupt, including my mom's house, when only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her that house. It just took me a lapse of time to figure out the resolution that was already there, that solution. But I did. And it was through understanding that I had the power to give meaning to the mistakes that I made, the setbacks and failures that had occurred. But until I aligned those meanings with my divine direction, I just remained disciplined in my non-negotiables. It wasn't until I sought the wisdom of the meaning and included faith that although the evidence, especially when I lost everything, was not in front of me, in fact, it was contrary to where I wanted to be, that through devotional, intentional behaviors, doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing aligned with where I want to be or better, aligning the meaning of the past with the same, was I able to create a differentiator between discipline and devotion. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely. And I'm just so blessed again to have you in this community. So thank you for pouring into us.
Vice versa. Everyone here, we appreciate you. It doesn't happen just with one person. So let's utilize the collaboration, coordination, and inspiration that we get here in this community, especially every Friday. I've been doing this for over 28 years. It'll be 29 years on October 11th. So super excited about our next annual nuptial that's coming up. Nick, you said Marco Antonio was up next.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Marco. Happy Friday. The mic is yours, my friend.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me, David. Yeah, my takeaway came last month after, losing a key employee. And, the thing that kind of resonated with me was don't ever make permanent decisions off of temporary emotions. And that whole situation caused me to realize that I was just being protected and promoted by God. But the real takeaway was when you are vengeful against other people, it's more of an attack on yourself than it is against others. Thank you, brother.
Oh, yeah. Look, I've been in business a long time. And if you're not here to promote, protect, love, and perfect in a human experience, especially those in your family, those that are friends, and those that work with you, if you truly are on a mission, like I know you are, to empower others, you have to be proud when someone leaves. Now, if you have to fire them because of dishonesty or emotional expense, you still will be protected, promoted. But when someone's moving on for the betterment of themselves, it's such a blessing. And when you have confidence that you've created opportunities, options, and touches favor that goes beyond you or any individual in your company, you can have that confidence to pray for their happiness and support them and help them find their way, whatever that is for them. So that vengeance, that attack, that initial emotion that goes through the need to be offended, the need to feel separate, inferior, superior, you have to forgive yourself and continue to support everyone that's in your relativity, your association that has fed you and bled you throughout the years.
Absolutely, my brother. Appreciate it. And we're in alignment. Thank you, man.
I know we are. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. All right, Nick Awammer, what do you got next?
I got Judith, who is here on stage in the Breakfast with Champions, who I believe has a question for you and maybe a takeaway, but a question for sure. Judith, great to see you here. Happy Friday. The mic is yours. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
Happy Friday, Nick and David. Thank you for inviting me, allowing me to speak. Last time I talked with David, he suggested that I etch out time for myself, and because I'm involved so much with this business, and that was a great takeaway for me. But part of the issue is what would you tell a struggling entrepreneur like myself that I've given up some controls and I'm allowing other people and my team to make decisions and do different things? And how do I handle the anxiety from not having the control and don't want to take the control back? So I don't want to do that. But how do I handle the anxiety when I'm allowing that person to follow through and do things that aren't quite the way that I do?
Yeah, what a great question, by the way. So many of us have difficulty handing things off and understanding and being aware that the ego has a need to control. Marco Antonio suggested the ego has a need to defend, and we also have a need to prove. All three will be counterproductive when we hand things off. And when we have a desire to defend, control, and prove, it just interferes with the higher opportunity, the higher self, and the higher of our own energy or frequency or higher awareness. So when we feel as if we are out of control, what we want to do is just stop and breathe and drop and remember, and recollect ourselves that our way is not the only way, and that we don't know what we don't know. And those people that we have handed things off to don't know what they don't know. One of the other things that can help us feel as if we have some sort of construct or certainty in the uncertainty of handing things off, and seeing things being done differently. And I love that you don't say better or worse. It's just different. Because you have no idea whether it's better or worse. Is knowing when we hand things off that you have to, again, know your timing and risk tolerance, so that when we hand someone off with an objective in mind, we should also know what we're willing to invest in that person, into how much time we are willing to invest so that they can perform at an adequate level of the objective that we have, or the thing that we handed off to. So understanding the ego, understanding stop, drop, and roll, and knowing timing and risk tolerance will help alleviate the interference that's created when we start to delegate things to others and they do things differently than we do. If anybody would like the stop, drop, and roll exercise, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much. What a great question. I'm sure tons of people have that same issue all the time.
Thank you so much, Judith, as always, for participating and always showing up for this incredible community. And of course, David, for pouring into everybody in this community. Doing a quick reset of the room here. We are here for another edition of David Meltzer's Free Friday Trainings. He has been doing these for over 28 years. And today's topic is takeaway of the month from July and or Ask Me Anything. So as a reminder to all of our friends on the Multicast and webinar live on all platforms, go ahead and put your takeaways or your questions for David into the chat. And of course, for any of our friends here in the Breakfast with Champions, the greatest room and community on Clubhouse, if you are on stage and have a takeaway or a question to share, just go ahead and put a quick note in the room chat. Or of course, if you are in the audience, go ahead and use the hand icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And of course, we will bring you up. Now, for our next takeaway of the month, David, I'm actually going to share one from the chat. And this is coming from Colleen. Her takeaway was to stop looking for the miracle outside of you and start looking at the miracle inside of you. Would love to hear your thoughts on a very powerful takeaway from the month of July.
Yeah, it's interesting. So someone will tell me, for example, that they're unhappy and they're looking to what's outside of them. And I will always tell them, look, nothing's going to change until you change inside of you, because all that you perceive, all thoughts that you have, all meaning you give it, all intention that is resulting from that, and the behaviors that then correspond are derived from inside of you. And if you have a God-sized hole inside of you and you're not filling it with inspiration, intelligence, intuition, then it doesn't matter how many Ferraris you own. It doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. You will not find light, love, and lesson where it's not inside of you already. It's a hard, very difficult lesson to learn. It, to me, is definitely indicative of accountability, of being able to ask ourselves, what am I doing to be responsible for this? What am I doing to attract this to myself? What am I doing to participate in this perception? And more importantly, what am I supposed to learn from it? And, I see so many people, I was joking around with Bucky O'Neill, who does these, walkabouts, and he does the, what is it? Fire walking, bending bars, and it's life-changing shit when people go to his events. But they immediately, when they're leaving the event, feel like they got to quit their job, get divorced, right? Like all these changes outside of them are going to now make the changes inside that they now have become aware of. And so I think at its core, I'm glad that resonates with so many people, because you got to do the inside work to achieve the outside results.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Colleen, for the great takeaway, and David, of course, for furthering such takeaway. Now, for our next share here, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Gigi, who is here live on Clubhouse, and then we have Marissa on deck. But Gigi, without further ado, the mic is yours.
Hello, happy Friday, and it's been, I would say, 10 years this month for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my biggest takeaway is two things, and it's because of you, David, is how things come full circle, and we have no idea what God, the universe, however you want to call, have in store for you. Like when I was with you guys in London for the mastermind, it was this full circle moment. And the second thing was how much it takes from a leader, as you are, Dave, to invest in their team. And then everybody's like, oh, you guys are great. Like, would you work for me? Or, approaches like that. And I'm like, we're like this because this guy that you see in front of you is investing his time, energy, and money into us. And I'm super grateful for that. And he just realized and made me appreciate more of what I have. So thank you for that. It's been an incredible month. And also something that someone said, the mastermind, is trust is my currency. And that's something that I'm learning from you, David, every single day. And I have so much to learn. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness. A lot to unpack there. And thank you so much, Gigi, for bringing up those points. So let's first take the full circle. Everything comes full circle. I prefer to look at it as everything is one. So every problem that exists already has a solution in it. It's just a lapse of time before it becomes a resolution, a resolution to that problem. When we see things as one, of course, you will have this feeling as if it came full circle, but it never left you. You never left it, and it just remained. And now you see the coinciding of what you were paying attention to previously, what you were heart set in a different handset. So it feels as if you've left and come back to where in reality it's just coinciding with. And when we can shift our paradigm and this perspective to that oneness, away from the linear aspect of everything comes full circle, we will feel much more inspired, empowered, intelligent, intuitive in such situations. As far as the recognition and acknowledgement of pouring into people, I think it's more an aspect of, you and Nick, who were there in London, actually doing the work. So I know so many people that have worked with me that just don't do the work. They're not doing the work. They're not honest with themselves. They're not honest with others. And you can see when somebody gets it and understands it and executes on it. And that's what I witnessed in London is you and Nick, who were there with me, and our incredible mastermind, with Kishore Lula and Brian Rose and all the, Liam Duffy and Afam, all these incredible speakers from around the world. The professor was there as well. We all recognize the people that are doing the work. And to see people your age and even more importantly, Nick's age that are doing the work and seeing the market improvement. We just did a mastermind yesterday with Tim Story, and everybody was commenting on every one of our team members and how they've evolved and the progress they made. And it's the biggest compliment that you can give me is how empowered and successful the people that are on my team. And I'm blessed. So I don't see anything other than people doing the work. That doesn't matter who's out there, where they're getting the information. If they don't do the work, it goes to a loss. So thank you so much. And thank you for everything you did over there across the pond. Nick, we're coming into halftime. Why don't you go ahead and reset the room? We're getting a ton of questions online. We got people driving in here. So reset the room, let everybody know where we're going to be. Let them know where they can get the exercises, guides, my book for free, all the nuances here at halftime.
Absolutely. Quickly resetting the room here. Thank you guys for joining us for another edition of David's Free Friday trainings that he has been doing for over 28 years. Today's topic is takeaway of the month from July and or ask me anything. So as another reminder to all of our friends on the multicast and webinars, we are live on all platforms. If you have a takeaway that you would like to share or a question for David today, go ahead and put it into the room chat or the webinar chat. And for all of our friends here on the Breakfast with Champions, the greatest room and community on Clubhouse, of course, if you are in the audience and have something to share, use the hand icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage, and we will bring you up. And of course, if you're already on stage and have a takeaway or a question to share, just go ahead and put a quick note in the room chat, and I will be happy to pass the mic over your way. Now, as we work through today's training, you've obviously heard David mention quite a few different guides and exercises. If you would like a copy of any of those, all you need to do is email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. And if for any reason, if you do not have a copy of his book, please make sure to mention it in your email when getting the guide and exercise, because David will be happy to send you a copy, sign a copy, and even pay for shipping. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, whether it's a free book, guide, or exercise, just go ahead and email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. Now, I gave a promise to one of your M&Ms, David, for the next takeaway or ask me anything of the day. So it's a pleasure to pass it over to the one and only Marissa Meltzer. Marissa, happy Friday. It is great to see you here. Why don't you unmute yourself and keep us rocking and rolling? Oh, Marissa, it looks like she may be having some technical difficulties, so we will come back to her. But in the meantime, we're going to head over to the chat and the multicast here as we have a takeaway coming from Jennifer. She shares that her takeaway is on building community in her network. Keep trying different ways to reach out and don't be afraid to be proactive. Her question is, how do you deal with or respond to loved ones who are dwelling in negativity when you don't wish to go there?
As an empathetic person who recently learned I don't have to take on other people's feelings and learn not to. All right. Great questions. And I want to tell everyone what makes this group so great is the being interested, not interesting part of what's going on. There's criteria that we use. And the first criteria that we use in order not to take on the wrong energy, and this is in my book, Don't Do Business with Dicks, we take on, number one, the first criteria is relativity. And, I always tell people, we wonder why your family can press your buttons so easily. Well, the reason they can press your buttons so easily is they installed your buttons. And so I think it's really important to understand the relativity of the person in your life, because if there is no relativity, it's a non-starter. If there's no relativity, then if somebody is negative, you can fire them or run away. Now, if there is relativity and there's always going to be positivity and negativity in its own way, then we go to the next criteria, which is association. So this person has some relativity to me. And so now I'm going to evaluate the association I have to them. We in that association part of an organization, a family, a board? Are we part of a group? Whatever it may be. And so do I sit next to them at the office? Do I share seats with them? Whatever it may be. What is that association? And once again, if there's no association at all and there's negativity, you can go ahead and fire them or let it fall away. The third criteria, beyond relativity and association, is really the main criteria, which is feeding and bleeding. And it's not just a matter of understanding if it feeds me, I'll feed it. If it bleeds me, I'll fire it, because you have to go a little bit deeper and understand the subtlety in feeding and bleeding. And the subtlety in feeding and bleeding is that some of the things that bleed us most feed us most. And so I'll take, for an example, being a parent. Your kids will bleed you. I bled my mom beyond belief, but being a parent and knowing our kids will bleed us, it's the greatest feeding. It's the greatest fulfillment. Why? Because I'm able and capable of helping the people that are most relative to me and have the greatest association with me. Even though they bleed me, it's a great feeding. So therefore, I will deal with the negativity of those people, because that negativity actually provides protection, promotion, loves, and perfection. It promotes me that I'm a better person, and it feeds me more. Now, if that bleeding bleeds you and doesn't feed you, it's just destructive, then go ahead again and let it fall away or fire it from you. So I use 3 different criteria to evaluate how much time, attention, and intention I'm going to assign to people, and how I'm going to deal with their negativity. By relativity, by association, and by how much am I being fed by the feeding and the bleeding that occurs. And that is, I have found, the best framework to prioritize people and assign time to those people in order to effectuate the most amount of time aligned in our divine direction, or better. In other words, to be happy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Meltzer. And thank you, Jennifer, for not only an incredible takeaway, but also question. For our next takeaway and or question, we're going to keep it live here on Clubhouse, as we have Brent, who is now on stage ready to rock. Brent, my friend, happy Friday. Great to see you here as always. Unmute yourself and carry us on.
Happy Friday. You guys are freaking awesome. I love you guys. I seriously love. So I'm going to have a takeaway and then I have a question. My takeaway is let it happen. We are so freaking in our own heads with trying to control things. I know me personally had struggled with this in my 4 years of entrepreneurship, but letting it happen, freaking, it's a ridiculous blessing, and not controlling the how and not controlling the time. Like those 2 things just like unlock some things. Check this out, guys. JDSO Marketing, my company, is going to get a 15-second billboard in Times Square. What the fuck? That's like, are you kidding me? I'm loving this whole thing, and it's just about just putting yourselves in the right opportunities in front of the right people, and like just letting it happen. I literally feel like I'm Forrest Gumping my way into like the most successful business I can possibly build right now, and I'm really excited about it. So that is my takeaway of the month. And then my question, which is, how do you continue to let it happen when we are constantly surrounded by the coaches, the mentors, the frameworks, do this, do that, do this, stay in this, do blah, 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 blah. And it's like makes your head freaking explode. So like just guidance on being your authentic self to make the let it happen actually freaking happen.
Woo! Well, I'm sad that you don't illustrate the energy and excitement and inspiration that you have. And I'm very excited and proud for you, because I know the growth that your business is experiencing, and I know the growth and expansion that you are as well. But in the context of let them or let it happen, there's so many different books out there about surrendering and the surrender experiment and untethered wisdom and soul. And I can go on and on of, from Napoleon Hill, what he writes in Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil about letting it happen. You're only letting the results happen. You're not sitting at home, Brent, I know this about you. You're not sitting at home sick and high, broke on your mom's couch, dreaming about all these cool things that are happening. You are giving thoughts to it every day, which creates this perception that your life is going to get better. From that perception, you now give meaning. For the sake of what is my life going to get better? For the sake of my sleep, my health, my family, my faith, my finance. Maybe it's for me experiencing time in a more beneficial way, or that relativity of time. So we have thoughts, perceptions, and meaning that then create, this intention that Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about. That if you haven't read The Power of Intention, he probably illustrates what we do, say, think, feel, and believe the best knowing that what we pay attention to, give our thoughts, perception, and meaning to, and what we give our intention to will equal this full circle, this coinciding of the universe with what we pay attention and give intention to, or even better. But the thing about this idea of let it happen is that a lot of people don't think that it requires that intention or any behaviors aligned with the divine direction, or aligning the thoughts, perception, and meaning of your past in that aligned direction. And so when somebody comes on here full of fire, full of zest, inspired, you can tell the difference in the energy of Brent compared to anybody else in this room, including me this morning. I know that it's not that they're letting it happen. It's that they're clearing that which is interfering with that which has already happened. And so it's a very active, participatory, commanding, collaborative, coordinated movement in alignment with his divine direction. And so we can detach our emotions from it happening while we strike and intend our emotions towards the pursuit of clearing that which is interfering with it happen. So in other words, I'm constantly discategorizing things as, am I doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing aligned with where I want to be or better? And are my thoughts, perceptions, and meaning aligned with where I want to be or better? Or are they interfering with it? And if it's interfering with it, I simply, just to remind you, can get the exercise, I stop, I breathe, I drop, and I roll into my divine direction. In other words, when your mind, body, and soul are on fire, you got to stop, you got to drop, and you got to roll. My friend, I am so proud of you. I will only see continued success with the mindset, heart set, and handset that you've developed.
Thanks, David. Oh man, we are already there. What are we doing to interfere with it? It's like the classic. So thank you. Yeah, I really, 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 truly appreciate you and everything you've done.
Thank you, man. Thanks for lighting up the room.
Thank you so much, Brent. And as a reminder, if you guys would like the stop, drop, and roll guide and exercise, all you need to do is email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com, and he will be happy as well to throw in a copy of his book. He will send you a copy, sign a copy, and even pay for shipping. Once again, just david@dmeltzer.com. And for our next takeaway of the month of July and or Ask Me Anything, I'm going to pass it over here to Mike, who has been patiently waiting on stage here on the Breakfast with Champions in Clubhouse. Mike, my friend, unmute yourself as the stage is yours.
Good morning, fellas. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Fantastic.
All right.
Perfect. So my takeaway, one is from the mastermind yesterday, which was incredible. And this one's going to be from Tim Story. And it's the fastest way to become who you want to be is to start behaving like that person today.
Yeah. Tim's been a mentor of mine. He's the comeback coach. If you're not familiar with Tim's story, make sure you're following Tim's story. You're participating in Act Like a Champion You Are program that Tim and I have developed in masterminds, books, podcasts, etc. And the basis of that is what we've been talking about continually today is behaviors create results. And so, and God calls on you for what you want to become. It's up to you to have the behaviors that are aligned with what you want to become. People will call on you for who you were. And if you continue to have behaviors of who you were, you're going to continue to be who you were. And so behaviors are the only thing that indicate results. It is your behaviors in a consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. It's your behaviors that are consistent that will determine your results. I was blessed to be with two different coaches in the last couple of months, one Urban Myers and two Nick Saban. And they both, in varying different ways, told me about their journey and how they used to attach to an outcome and not worry about behaviors. So they would do, say, think, feel, and believe anything to win. They would do, feel, think anything to be and win championships. But until they both realized that their job wasn't to win championships. Their job wasn't even to win. Urban Meyer talked about developing and managing winners. Nick Saban talked about building champions. You see, winners win and champions win championships. So people who build winners and build champions, they win and they win championships. And if you listen to Tim and you create those behaviors of who you want to become, you will elevate your awareness to what you're doing to interfere with it, and you will be consistent and persistent in the pursuit of that potential when you're able and capable of helping others. But most importantly, beyond developing, it's whether you can enjoy it. So many people cannot learn to love or enjoy what they don't like or love about what they love. So they go to blame, shame, and justification, and they change what they think outside is going to help them change inside. When what they really should be doing is working in the facet of finding light, love, and lessons in everything they do and making the changes inside, and then the changes will occur outside. Very important that you understand the relativity of behavior in the results equation. Remember, what you think, Mike, what you think will be what you perceive will be what you mean will delegate or direct your intention of what you do, say, think, feel, and believe. What you do, say, think, feel, and believe, develop the behaviors that hopefully you will enjoy in a consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, closest to God, able and capable of helping others, which is when we feel closest to God. That's one of my favorites from yesterday as well. Although the biggest challenge people have in our masterminds is to come up with one takeaway, because they have pages and pages of notes, and it becomes arbitrary and capricious which ones they pick. And we were blessed. Bo Eason was dropping nuggets. John Coyle, Olympian, dropping nuggets. Tim Story dropping bombs. Wing Lam, the founder of Wahoo's, dropping just missiles. It was an incredible 4th of July celebration as we had rockets and firecrackers and sparklers of nuggets and takeaways. So thank you, Mike, for being there. Thank you for all your help. It is fourth quarter now, Nick. I was hoping you could reset the room, get everybody where we're going to be, get my book guide exercises from today. We got a lot of great nuggets. You can get the replays that are available as well. But I would love it if you could just reset the room for the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Everybody put those fours up as we enter into the fourth quarter of today's Friday training. Takeaway of the month and or ask me anything. So as a final reminder, as we enter the final quarter, make sure that if you are joining us on the webinar, go ahead and put your takeaway or question for David into the room chat. And of course, if you are here in the Breakfast with Champions, the greatest room and community on Clubhouse, go ahead. If you are in the audience, use the hand icon to request to join the stage, and we will, of course, bring you up. And if you're already on stage, just put a quick note in the room chat and I will be happy to pass the mic over your way. Now, of course, when it comes to any of the guides, exercises, replays, or even David's book, I know he had mentioned the stop, drop, and roll. I know there was a mention in there about time and relativity relating to student of the calendar and so many more. If you guys want any of those guides or exercises or the replay from today's training, or for any reason, if you don't have a copy of David's book, which he will send to you, sign a copy and even pay for shipping. If it is free, it is we people. Just email the beloved servant himself, david@dmeltzer.com. Once again, that is just david@dmeltzer.com. Now, I'm going to take our next takeaway, actually coming from the chat, and this is coming from Janine, and she shares that my takeaway of the month is that rest comes in many forms, not just physical. I need to have creative rest, social rest, emotional, mental, sensory, and even spiritual rest as well. David, do you have any thoughts on this?
The answer is yes. You need to have all of those. I have a different word than rest. So I have two words that I think can be applied in my philosophy to those areas. One is ease. So when we're evaluating ease, mental, physical, spiritual ease compared to dis-ease. So we need ease. In fact, I look all day long to just spend minutes and moments in dis-ease. I used to tell people I don't get sick, physically sick, which wasn't true, because I do. I do. For minutes and moments, I have dis-ease, and sometimes even a little longer. My throat might scratch or have a runny nose, or don't have the full energy access that I normally do. So one of the distinctions in we need all these types of rest is we actually don't need as much rest as we do ease, because when we're at ease, there's no rest needed. There's no recovery needed, which is the second part of what we need. And that is that when we push mentally, physically, and spiritually we need to recover, especially mentally, emotionally, physically recover. And so for me, the non-negotiable that helps not only live at ease, but live in recovery and access of information to elevate my awareness to make things easier and less dis-easier is to sleep. It's a third of our life that you should be, quote unquote, as you say, resting, as I say, recovering and accessing. Regardless of the nomenclature that you use and the definitions that you give it, we will not have to go off the grid. We can stick to our non-negotiables every day if we have a minimum amount of time assigned to recovery and access of information, sleep. Because those who recover perform better. Those who access information live at ease. And so taking a third of our life and being intentional about recovery and access, we definitely need what you call rest, or I call recovery, access, and ease. We definitely need that, but it leaves us with so much more time to be productive, to be accessible, which is accessing the inspiration, information, intuition, and intelligence at an infinite level, and be accessible to others to allow it to come through us to help other people. So 100% agree with the need, as you say, to rest. I would portray it as ease, recovery, and access to be more productive, more accessible, more gracious in your 24-hour guarantee from God. Except for the last day of your life, you'll be cheated. What a great perspective. Get that recovery, access, and utilize productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in everything you do. Nick, we got people piling up online in here. Who's up next? What's up next?
Absolutely. I have it on good authority that your M&M has cleared any type of interference technologically. So Marissa Meltzer, without further ado, I see you back here on stage, and she is unmuted, folks. Marissa, the mic is yours.
Hey, sorry about that. I was getting off the subway from a workout class.
Nice.
So I didn't hear. I'm so sorry. But anyways, yeah, my takeaway of the month is that I'm trying to articulate this correctly, but it's more about you need people that love you, don't always give you the best advice, but they're giving it out of love, and you should take it that way. And I think you know what I'm talking about, because you're one of the people I love. So
yeah, wow. I think it applies to so many people. I always will tell you, people, that just because someone loves you doesn't mean they give you good advice. And I will tell you, if you love someone deeply, like a parent, which I am to you, you have to come to an epiphany that my advice, number one, is irrelevant because I don't know what I don't know. And that humility is hard to take when you're a parent. It's hard to admit that you really don't know what you don't know, which is just about everything. And then the problem is, just like God protects, promotes, loves, and perfects you, you have been given that relationship to your child to protect, promote, love, and perfect them. But you're limited in your capability compared to God. God's omniscient, all powerful, all knowing. It has an infinite amount of energy, inspiration, intuition, and intelligence, and you don't. But yet you feel the obligation to protect, promote, love, and perfect your children. And so you're stuck in this quandary because you don't know what you don't know, but you want to protect, promote, love, and perfect your child. And so you give advice that is based off of fear because you don't want your child to be hurt. You don't have what God has, which is the ability to put challenges and struggles in front of your child purposefully to teach them lessons. I'm going to repeat that. The biggest and most challenging thing about being a parent is that we don't have the power to put struggles, pain. Like, could you imagine bankrupting your child so that they would learn the lessons that I learned? Would you imagine giving your child cancer so they would learn the lessons that these people that have recovered from cancer have learned? Could you imagine having them be molested so that they could learn the lessons that they learned? Could you imagine giving them dyslexia, blindness, amputation, mental dis-ease? Could you imagine addiction? Could you imagine giving your own child any of these things so that they could strengthen themselves to endure more, to live a better life? There's no effing way. We have a challenge when we love someone deeply because we take on the obligation of being able and capable of protecting, promoting, loving, and perfecting them, but we don't have the capability of doing so because we are not willing to do what God is willing to do, to put forth the challenges that will strengthen us and bring the best out of us and guide us, protect us, promote us, love, and perfect us, give us the indications that we have a better place to be. And so the only thing I can tell my kids, you being one of them, is do your best, learn lessons, and have fun. Because I know if you do your best, learn lessons, and have fun, you won't need my advice. God will put the challenges, the struggles, the pain, the setbacks, the mistakes, the failures, and successes in front of you to strengthen you, to bring the best out of you, to guide you so that you become what you desire or even better. Thank you, Marissa, for being vulnerable. Thank you for listening to me, and do your best, learn lessons, and have fun. And as always, I'm proud of you. I love you, and I always have your back. Thanks for joining us.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you.
So much, Marissa. And as we close in on our final 5 minutes here, I'm thinking we're going to have time for at least one, maybe two. I'm going to pass it over to Colleen for the next takeaway of the month and or question of the day. Colleen, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you sharing my takeaway earlier. Okay, so my question is, it comes from the mastermind yesterday, which was just so powerful. You know, there's something to be said about the speakers and the thought leaders that come into these events and they think differently. And there's so much to take away from these people, you know, not only just motivation, but true inspiration. I think I know the answer to this question from you, but I'm curious what you think as really the differentiator in these incredible speakers. Obviously, there's an insight that they have, whether it's from experience, from learning, from teaching, but there's also a lens in which they see the world differently. And I'm curious what your lens is for these speakers, for these incredible thought leaders that we take so much away from. What lens are they looking at of the world?
Well, I think obviously it varies, right? They all have different lenses, you know, so I can't speak for, you know, the incredible, and we've had the biggest names in the world come to the mastermind series that we have, the Aspire Tour, which we're on, the Sigma, the Web Summit, the APACs, the EOs, the YPOs, all of those things that fill our 200 different stages a year. But I don't think that I could speak for their lens. I will tell you the common denominator that I see beyond lenses, which is a desire that they must be what they can be. And that's inspiration, that desire of applying their why. And I think they share wisdom, they share faith. These are commonalities, but I can speak to my lenses. My lenses are simple. It's productivity, it's value. What can I do to provide more of what people like and take away what they don't like? What can I do to provide more of what's working, take away what's not working? What can I do to provide more of what they know and take away what they don't know? And who do I know that could help? So the lens of productivity is a lens in which I use, the lens of accessibility. How am I accessing the infinite? How am I accessing the infinite energy, intuition, intelligence, inspiration all day long? How am I accessing that? And how accessible am I to others? Am I using the 5-20 rule? Am I using the 3-no rule? Am I using non-negotiable behaviors, negotiable, non-time, scheduled time? Am I using planned time, unplanned time? Am I using sleep? How accessible am I? And then the final lens is, for me, the most relevant lens, which is a lens of gratitude. As I talk about thoughts become perception, perceptions, meaning, intention, behaviors, and those behaviors will create my results. As I look at gratitude, my ability to learn to love what I don't like or love about what I love and don't love, to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everybody and everything, the circumstances, events, situations. When I use my 3 lenses combined with the common denominator of a desire that I must be what I can be, using wisdom and faith to shorten the distance of resistance that I create when I create the dis-ease from that which already is. When I'm called to become instead of calling from what I was, those are the lenses that help me most. Productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. I don't know what lenses other people have, but I do know they have a desire that they must be what they can be, and they use wisdom and faith to shorten the distance of resistance. Thank you so much, Colleen. What a great way to close out the day. Appreciate you so much. Wammer, we did it again. It's exactly 7 o'clock. Why don't you go ahead and close out Clubhouse for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you so much. I'm just going to review real quick. If you like the exercises, guides, or books from today, if you'd like the replay from today, please email me, the beloved servant. David means beloved, at D is my first initial, Meltzer means servant. It's pinned right there, David at dmeltzer.com. If you would like to join us, be invited or informed, we're going to be moving and grooving in Las Vegas. Come and join us there in Las Vegas on Monday and Tuesday. Come and join us. We'll be in Honolulu. Come and join us. Newport Beach, San Diego, and LA, SoFi Stadium, and then Atlanta with Les Brown. The biggest names, the biggest stages. Come and join us. All you got to do is text me. You'll be informed and invited to over 200 different things, 200 different cities, I should say, more than 200 things. Area code is 949. It's pinned right here, 949. Next 3 numbers, 298. Last 4 numbers, 2905. It's right there. Doesn't cost anything. Be invited, be informed. Email me for the books, guides, exercises. Text me to be invited and informed. But most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deed. Hit it, Gigi.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.